So more specifically, I wanted to present some sectors where carbon reduced travel may provide commercial opportunities. Again, this is another light bulb moment. First of all, measurement. I mean, a lot of what we've talked about the last couple of days relates to data, air quality, noise, all these sort of things. So there's a business opportunity there for someone to collect that data. There's technology, there's equipment that's required, there's analysis techniques, there's monitoring, and there needs to be someone to do that. If Catch is going to be successful, it's going to need good data, and all the cities that are involved, Europe-wide. There's some direct benefits from the project. Public transport may benefit, alternative transport, cycling, walking, things like that. Then, if you think more secondary, there might be some indirect benefits. If you think, for example, if we move towards cities or a society that is more based around public transport, cycling and walking, then urban planning has to change to adapt that. So the way public realm, just meaning the spaces that we exist in, will have to change. So landscaping, planning will have to adapt. So this city becomes this vision that we want it to be. And someone has to carry that job out. So we really want that there's an opportunity for someone doing that. Retail and catering might change. Smaller shops, smaller stores providing for people who are walking rather than driving. Talk a lot about transit-orientated development, where shops and retail may spring up around where transport hubs are. People want to eat, want to drink, want to exist in this space, and that's a kind of key point, that we want to transport not to be just a means to getting somewhere, but people are happy to be within this area. Other benefits could be home delivery, rather than people driving with a car to a place to pick up a product. They can do it online. They can go to a place where they can order something but not necessarily take it away with them. Health and fitness is from cycling and walking. These are all additional indirect benefits. And then finally, finance and management, which is, if carbon management comes out, trading, benchmarking, financial reporting. These are all areas that someone would have to get involved in if carbon becomes much more pertinent in our society. So I've kind of categorised all these ideas within a sort of flow chart. At the top we have the Catch platform, and these are the sort of goals of the Catch platform: behavioural change, information resource, and a communication tool. Again, this is another idea moment. So there are carbon data opportunities, this idea of measurement, monitoring and analysis. These feed into the Catch platform. We need to have this data, and someone needs to provide that. These direct opportunities also come out: public transport, alternative transport, electric biofuel vehicles. Another aspect of a direct opportunity is vehicle sharing, renting, things like car clubs. These are all another potential benefit. Then direct opportunities for public realm, urban planning, retail catering. Alternative fuels, if we move to renewable resources which are less carbon intensive. Health and well-being. And finally, the management opportunities: carbon efficiency, carbon trading, auditing and accounting and reporting. And I think this is a key area that a lot of what we've talked about is that this idea of carbon has to be transparent. There is a lot of different ways of measuring how carbon could be attributed to certain activities. It has to be transparent, it has to be standard. People have to understand where it comes from. So there's a real responsibility for organisations, for governments through regulation, that carbon auditing and accounting and reporting is done in a way that people can understand. Right now, financial reporting is held as a kind of legal requirement. Carbon will possibly become that in the future if we deem it that important. So the final part here is about what are the methods and opportunities to manage carbon. This just breaks down a sort of flow chart. Carbon reduction at the start. There's two ways of tackling carbon: through market instruments and regulation, and focusing on the sort of market potential. And this can be done through setting a carbon tax and a green tax. Is one way of using the market, where government would set a tax on carbon intensive goods or products or services. The other alternative is trading, and this can be split into two sort of areas, cap and trade being one, and offsets also using cap and trade, interrelated with cap and trade. And I'll just sort of highlight what these are about. Cap and trade, essentially the government sets a limit of pollution, and polluters can trade for permits or credits, essentially paying for the right to pollute. And the EU ETS scheme is one of these. Offsets is a financial mechanism to mitigate carbon usage via investment in projects which reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the short or long term. So we might be aware of these. That this comes back to the marginal abatement curve, that what other opportunities, what investments can be made where carbon can be offset. This is a contentious issue, offsetting, because it gives a right for someone to keep their pollution at the same level if they pay for offsets elsewhere. So it's just two kind of market instruments which exist. But this is really where we want to think, what's the light bulb opportunity for catch? So using carbon trading as offsets in new and innovative ways. City-to-city trading is one way, where cities have permits which they will trade with other cities. Carbon league tables, this idea of cities being in a carbon league and being able to rate the performance one against one another. It's something that's really visual and could really stimulate interest from the higher level people within cities. They really want their city compared to other cities and to see how they perform relative. It's another one I was kind of thinking of was city carbon offset zones, where a city becomes more responsible for its own carbon. In order to offset that, it has to set aside parts of its own city, whether it's parks or gardens or certain areas where it can offset its own carbon. It's internalising carbon within the city rather than as an individual or an organisation. And it's this idea of trying to use these market instruments in a more city context. And the great thing about something like that is it induces responsibility and ownership over your carbon, and therefore you're responsible for it and you deal with it. So it's this real idea that carbon trading could be an incentive and a stimulation for cities, businesses and individuals. How can city trading be used as a way of getting interest, getting involvement and stimulation in the carbon market? And fundamentally, how can catch be used as a tool in this new system? Or rather than a tool, how can it be involved? So to recap and trade, which is a really poor joke, but there's not many carbon jokes out there yet, so maybe this is the first. So, carbon and businesses are and will become increasingly interconnected. Carbon offers both risks and opportunities for businesses, and it's important to understand both of these. Try and mitigate against these risks and capitalise on the opportunities. Catch must add value in order to be financially sustainable. It must embrace and capitalise on the opportunities. The effects of catch can promote and stimulate new business and commercial opportunities. And catch can be involved in new and innovative forms of carbon management. So essentially these are what we want to feel as if catch can be involved in the long term and to ensure its longer term sustainability. It just serves as a lead into what we're going to talk about now with Steve. If you want more information, contact me. That was the initial catch website. This is my animation, which no one uses now, but I thought it was really nice. So, this is just a recapping of these opportunities. We can leave up now as we talk about these opportunities, and hopefully get some feedback from everyone here. How do you feel? Okay.